together.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam. Welcome to the Sunday program. Thank you all for joining today's program. This month is very special. On this month, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on a sacred Ekadashi day. So this year we're celebrating Gita Jayanti on 14th of December. So now let's get into the today's program. In the today's program, first we'll do Prabhupada Arti. Prabhupada Arti sung by Akhi Mataji and Sachirandan Prabhu is doing it from the temple. And after that, we have Bhajan Kirtan session. In the Bhajan Kirtan session, we have Shraddha Mataji, Priyanka Mataji. And after the class is by His Grace Sachirandan Prabhu. Then Gaura Arti, and then announcements. Now we'll glorify Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Akhi Mataji. Please unmute yourself. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining today's program. Please start glorifying Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhavoi Sabadhana Mate Bandhavoi Sabadhana Mate Jaharu Prasadi Bhai E Bhagavatoria Jai Jaharu Prasadi Bhai E Bhagavatoria Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoye Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoye Guru Mukha Padma Bhakta Chitete Koriya Ko Guru Mukha Padma Bhakta Chitete Koriya Ko Arna Kori Ho Moni Asha Arna Kori Ho Moni Asha Sri Guru Charone Rati Eishe Uttama Goti Sri Guru Charone Rati Eishe গতি যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা চক্ষুদান দিল যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে চক্ষুদান দিল যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিতা বিনাশ যাতে প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিতা বিনাশ যাতে বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন আহা প্রভু পর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া এবে যশ ঘোষ ত্রিভুবন এবে যশ ঘোষ ত্রিভুবন শ্রীরা প্রভুপাদ 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 শ্রীলা প্রভুপাদ জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব নিতাই গৌরা হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌরা হরি বল 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 শিলা প্রভুপাদ কি জয়
नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टदिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टदिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पीवीटी फाउंडर आचार्य जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Aki Mataji, for singing the Kirtan. And thank you, Sachinandan Prabhu, for doing the Aarti. Now we'll hear from Srila Prabhupada.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam. Hearing of this Bhagavad-Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam from the realized person, that will train up oneself, into the thoughts of the Supreme Being, 24 hours, which will lead one ultimately, Antakali, to remember the Supreme Lord, and thus, leaving this body, he will have a spiritual body, just fit for association with the Lord. The Lord therefore says, Abhyasa yoga juktina chetusa nanugamina paramang purusang divyang yati partha anuchintayan. Anuchintayan, constantly thinking of himself only. It is not very difficult process. One has to learn this process from the experienced persons in this line. That vijnanatmasa gurumeva vijachet. One should approach a person who is already in the practice. So, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. This is called Abhyasa Yoga, practice. Abhyasa is how to remember the Supreme Lord always. Cetasa Nanagamino. The mind is always flying to this, to that. And so one has to practice, to concentrate the mind into the form of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, always, or in the sound in his name, which is very easier. Instead of concentrating on my mind may be very restless, going hither and thither. But I can concentrate my ear into the sound, vibration of Krishna. And that will also help me. That is also Bhyasa Yoga. Cetasa Nanagamina Paramam Purusam Dibbam. Paramam Purus, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual kingdom, in the spiritual sky, one can approach anuchintayan, constantly thinking. So, these processes, the ways and means, all are stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, and there is no bar for anyone. It is not that that a particular class of men can approach. Thinking of Lord Krishna is possible. Hearing of Lord Krishna is possible by everyone. And the Lord says in the Bhagavad-Gita, Manghi partha vipasritya jivisu papajuna striya sudra tatha vaishya srivijanti parangatim kinkuna brahmana punya bhakta rajasya tatha asukham anittam asukham lokam mimang prapta bhajasama. The Lord says that in a human being in the lowest status of life, or even a fallen woman, or a mercantile man, or a liberal class of men. In the mercantile class of men, the liberal class of men, and the woman class, they are counted in the same category because their intelligence is not so developed. But the Lord says, they also, or even lower than them, Mahi Partha Vipasitu Jepishu, not only they, or lower than them, or anyone, it does not matter who is he or who is he, anyone who accepts this principle of Bhakti Yoga and accepts the Supreme Lord as the summum bonum of life, the highest target, highest goal of life. Manghi partha vipasati dipijanti parangatim, that paragati in the spiritual kingdom and the spiritual sky, everyone can approach. Simply one has to practice the system. That system is hinted in the Bhagavad-Gita very nicely, and one can adopt it and make his life perfect and make a permanent solution of life. That is the sum and substance of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, the conclusion is that Bhagavad-Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Gita Shastramidam Punyam Japatet Prajata Puman. And the result will be, if he properly follows the instruction, then he can be freed from all miseries of life, all anxieties of life, bhaya shokadi vivarjitam, all fears of life in this life, as well as he will get a spiritual life in the next life. Gita dhyana silasya pranayama parasya naiva santi papani purvajanma kritani cha. Another advantage is that if one reads Bhagavad-Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In this video, Prabhupada was saying, thinking of Lord Krishna is possible. Who accepts the principle of Bhakti Yoga? It's very easy to attain Supreme Lord. Even in the Gita Mahatmya, it is stated that if one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be free from all miseries and anxieties in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now, is Bhajan and Kirtan sessions. In the Bhajan and Kirtans, first we have Shraddha Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Satyaji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for joining. Please glorify Lordships.
Dhanupranam to all Vaishnav, Dhanupranam to Gaunita Electric Partners, Jagannath Baladev Swadhari, Guru Maharaj Pranam. Today I've got Meera's Bhajan. It's Marwadi Bhasha. It's similar to Hindi, but few words some people don't know. And please just forgive me if everybody knows that, and I'm trying to say I know everything, but I don't. I will explain a few words before I do the bhajan, then you can relish the rest of the bhajan. First you say, Aja Manmohan Meera Medat ni pukare, because Meera was from Marwad. Marwad is the another name is Medat. And like we say, Mummy, Papa, Maa, Baap, in Marwadi we say, Babo Sa. We say Pitaji, and they say Sa, Ma Sa, Mataji. Babo Sa, Pitaji. So these two words will come in there. And rest of, I'm sure it will be similar to, very similar to Hindi. But it's just like singing will a little bit different. And I'm sure just you will enjoy it. And Thakurji will enjoy it. Krishna will enjoy it because Meera is singing for Krishna. Hare Krishna. Ajaman. Sorry, one line I forgot to tell you. Rana saying, because Meera was worshiping Krishna, and Rana was against that, and he says, Patthar ne kai puje, means why you worshipping of stone? I will only believe if you will make Krishna to eat personally, then I will believe it. And he just like threatened her. And he said, you are just like bringing bad names to both families, your family and our families. But Meera said, this दुनिया के प्रीत मेरे दिल को अच्छी नहीं लगती। राणा के संग तो क्या है, ये मुझे दुनिया के व्यवहार नहीं अच्छा लगता। सो पत्थर ने काई पूजे, दिस द वर्ड आई वांट टू से, मींस व्हाई इज इट वर्शिपिंग कृष्णा। सॉरी माता जी। आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, मीरा बुलावे थाने मेड़त नी बुलावे रे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे। बाबो सामा सामाने लाड लड़ाई, बाबो सामा सामाने लाड लड़ाई, राम जाने राणा संग क्यों मैं ब्याई, राम जाने राणा संग क्यों मैं ब्याई, दुनिया नी प्रीत माने डाई को न्यावे, डाई नयावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे। पत्थर ने काई पूजे बोल राणा जी, पत्थर ने काई पूजे यूं बोल राणा जी, ठाकुर ने जिमाओ तब प्रीत साची जाना जी, ठाकुर ने जिमाओ जद प्रीत साची जाना जी, झूठी कपटानी कुल ने दाग लगावे रे, झूठी कपटानी कुल ने दाग लगावे रे, राणा धमकावे, राणा धमकावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, मेड़त नी बुलावे थाने मीरा बुलावे, मेड़त नी बुलावे थाने मीरा बुलावे रे, आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़त नी बुलावे। दूध न कटोरा भर लाई मीरा बाई, दूध न कटोरा भर लाई मीरा बाई, पियो मारा शाम तने भक्तनी दुहाई, पियो मारा शाम तने भक्तनी दुहाई, प्रेम दीवानी मीरा शाम ने रिझावे रे, प्रेम दीवानी मीरा शाम ने रिझावे रे, शाम ने रिझावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, आजा मन मोहन मेरा मेड़त नी बुलावे। मीरा री पुकार सुन श्याम धन आयो, मीरा री पुकार सुन श्याम धन आयो, दूध नो कटोरो भरयो सारो घटकायो, दूध नो कटोरो भरयो सारो घटकायो, भोला भक्तानी ठाकुर लाज बचावे, भोला भक्तानी ठाकुर लाज बचावे, आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़त नी बुलावे, आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़त नी बुलावे। सुहागन भागन राठौड़ा न जाई अमर सुहागन भागन राठौड़ा न जाई सासरिया पियर तार्यो तार्यो मीराबाई सासरिया पियर दोनों तार्यो मीराबाई भगतानी महिमा भगतानी महिमा माधो सिंह गावे रे भगतानी महिमा माधो सिंह गावे रे आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़तनी बुलावे आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़तनी बुलावे मेड़तनी बुलावे थाने मेड़तनी बुलावे मीरा बुलावे थाने मेड़तनी बुलावे आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़तनी बुलावे आजा मन मोहन मीरा मेड़तनी बुलावे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Jai. Thank you very much, Mataji, for singing a traditional and nice version. You always sing with enthusiastic and enthusiasm and Josh. Thank you, Shavan Prabhu, joining with Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Now, I request Priyanka Mataji to join with us. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. So I will be singing this with the help of Ishani Mataji because I don't have that much courage to sing. So it's just first step to start this. Okay, shall I just I just want to say a few words before I start this bhajan because I just want to mention about who's written this bhajan. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so basically this bhajan which we will be singing is written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur and it's called Bol Hari Bol. And this song is taken from his book, is called Gitavali. And what Bhakti Vinod Thakur actually says in this bhajan is, please chant the holy names of Sri Krishna. Human birth is very rare and hence one should take the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. You can chant the names anywhere and anytime, during day or during night. He also says that please leave the association of non-devotees because associating with them cause hindrance in spiritual progress. So we're going to start off with this, and obviously we both need your blessings. We can't do anything without your blessings. Please bless us that we can do it nicely and amicably for everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'm just going to change few settings here. Could you all hear us properly? Can you all hear us?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, it's okay. It was on loop back. Who did it on loop back? Okay, we'll just start it now. Hare Krishna. Bol Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Mane re Anand Bhai, Bol Hari Bol. Mane re Anand Bhai. Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aunty. Even it's first time you sang really nice.
Oh, thank you.
It will encourage others also to sing. Thank you, Ishani, for supporting Priyanka Mataji.
I go.
Very well. If anybody would like to sing, please approach Anuragi Mataji. You don't have to be a great singer. All you need is love and devotion. Hare Krishna. Now it's time for class. I request His Grace Sachidanand Prabhu to enlighten us with his pravachan. Hare Krishna Sachidanand Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
So I think I need to sing Radha Madhav first.
Yes, please.
Jaya Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Ajnanotimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manohabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamyaham Tadapi Sapadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Juta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdhutan Parijana Setam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatpadesho Tarini He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Rahakanta Namastuti Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Mahavadannaya Krishna Premo Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Guru Tishe Namaha Nityananda Namastubham Premananda Pradayine Kalo Kalmanasayo Janva Patayati Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vasudev Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Sukhdev Goswami Maharaj ki jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai Paramananda Padit Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swaminiti Namini Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayini Gaur Katha Dhamadayo Nagar Gramo Tarini Paramananda Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai ho. So as in the beginning of program, Saptamataji was saying this month is very special or auspicious for us because it's called Gita Jayanti month for Vaishnava world. The month when Gita appeared to us. all of conditioned souls for our benefits. I believe this month on 14th of December, Moksha Ekadashi, the day of appearance of Bhagavad-Gita. So that's why it's very, very special month to glorify Bhagavad-Gita, glorifying Bhagavad-Gita. That's month of glorious of Bhagavad-Gita. So usually all the Vaishnavas, all especially Iskcon devotees, they trying to glorify more and more Bhagavad-Gita more and more, and they try to distribute Bhagavad-Gita more and more as much as they can. Like our dear God brother and God sister, Sri Prem Prakash Gaur Prabhu and Ishani Mataji, they do every year they do. Also our Mahatma Prabhu, he used to distribute Bhagavad Gita, and our Guru Shakti Mataji in the Bhaktivedanta manner, she does so much. So I choose the verses from Bhagavad Gita, which is related to relationship between conditioned souls and Krishna himself. So this because the Bhagavad Gita remind us, also make the relationship, the bond, make the bond between conditioned soul and the Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this this slok is very, very important, which is establish the relationship between conditioned soul and Krishna himself. The verse is chapter 15 and verses 7. I believe you all have Bhagavad Gita, you can open and you can read it. Also, you can see what he's saying. Mamoivang sajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mano sashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Purport. In this verse, the identity of the living being is clearly given. In this verse, there, as I was saying on my last class, actually, there is many verses in Bhagavad Gita. I mean, around 700 verses. So every single verse is very, very important. But there are several verses which is very, very important. So this verse is very, very important. Why? Because Krishna giving identity of all the souls. In this material world, every single person have different identity. If we ask every single person, what is your identity? Every single, even the two brothers, they took birth from different fathers, different mother, still they have a different identity. Name is different, their education is different, qualification is different. But Krishna is saying in this verse, every single living entities in this material world, not in this material world, there is the countless, endless material world, earth, Brahman. So nobody knows there is how much or how many conditioned souls are there. But Krishna said every living, single living entity, souls is my parts, fragmental parts. Sanatan means nitya, eternal parts. But we have, that's why this verse is very, very important to us. Like when Sanatana Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first time, he was saying, Gramma Bhava Hare More Sabai Pandit Kori Mani. আপনার হিতাহিত কিছুই না জানি। Sanatana Goswami is saying, Gramma Vyavahar means the general behave in village. Everybody was known, everybody known as me as a Pandit, scholar person. I know I have so many qualifications, I know everything. But আপনার হিতাহিত কিছুই না জানি. But I have no idea about myself even. Who am I? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, what do you want to know? Why you are so scholar, everybody call you Pandit, scholar, but you saying you know nothing. What do you want to know from me? Then Sanatana Goswami inquired, Ke ami keno amay jare ta patroy, iha na janile koise hit hoy. I don't know who am I. Although I have an identity, my name is this, I have driving I have many identity, like my driving license, my passport, everything, my name is there, but actually I have no idea who am I, from where I came from. The most important question is keno amay jare ta patroy. Why I am struggling in this world. I'm trying to so much to make comfortable my life. I'm making so many plans. You can see in this material people making so many plans that for the future, that they will they'll have no more struggle. They have enough money to live their life. There's so many. But still I am struggling in this world. No matter how much I'm trying. Why? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami asked, please give me answer. Who am I? Where I came from? Where I am struggling in this world? Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, জীবের স্বরূপ হয় কৃষ্ণের নিত্য দাস, কৃষ্ণের তটস্থা শক্তি ভেদাভেদ প্রকাশ। জীবের স্বরূপ হয়, জীব means the note one thing, we have to must note one thing. Sanatana Goswami only asked for himself. Ke ami means I, who am I? But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answering as জীবের স্বরূপ. জীবের স্বরূপ, he didn't say your স্বরূপ. Your swarup is Krishna Nitadas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jiver swarup means generally every single condition souls. Their identity is Krishna Das, the servant of Krishna. Servant of Krishna. Krishna Das, Krishna Tatastha Shakti Bhedam. So same thing Krishna saying in this verse. The living entities in this condition world are my eternal fragmental parts. Also, our one of our acharya, his name is Haridas, not Namacharya Haridas. Haridas, who wrote the 108 names of Krishna. It's called Ashtattar Shata Nam, Krishna's name. He said, জীবের স্বরূপে সকলের হয় গোলকেতে বাস, বৈকুণ্ঠেতে বাস, বৈকুণ্ঠনাথ, sorry, he said, স্বরূপে সকলের হয় বৈকুণ্ঠেতে স্থিতি, বৈকুণ্ঠনাথ কমলারপতি. Swarup means the residence of all the living entities is actually in the Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. We came from Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. We used to live in Vaikuntha or Krishna or Golok Vrindavan with Krishnas. That's what Krishna said. There, my Sanatan means my Nitya. Our actual form is identities were servant of Krishna. We used to live in Krishna, Vaikuntha. Sarupe Sakaler Sthiti, Rup Hai, Vaikuntha Sthiti. It says in Bhagavad-Gita, in Shastra, we came from Krishna. We used to live with Krishna actually. Like our Sri Haridas Prabhu was, he give example very often. We used to live in Golok Vrindavan. We used to serve Radha Krishna under guidance of gopis or Sri Gurudev. There is, as long the living entities serve the Krishna in the Golok Vrindavan, there is no struggling, any kind of kasta, dukh. But once Krishna forget Krishna, like Shastra said, I think Haridas was saying as well. Krishna Surja Sarvabhauma Prabhu, I was listening lecture by Sarvabhauma Prabhu. He was saying, Krishna Surja Sama Maya Haya Andhukar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. Krishna is like a sun. So as long we are engaged in serving Krishna, there is no Andhukar. Andhukar means kast. Krishna said, what Krishna, there is a struggling, kasta, dukh, miserable. So there is no kasta. But when we forget Krishna, so Maya catches us. Maya means Andhakar, the darkness. So I collect an example for this actually. If we think about a tree, there is thousands of green leaves in the tree. So as long that green leaves is connected with the trees, so leaves are staying green and very, healthy, hara bhara, I don't know, green or very energetic. But once green leaves is fell from the trees in the floor, so leaves become dry. He lost his actual form. Why? Because he lost his source where he was getting energy from. Similarly, as long conditioned souls like us engage, the serving of Krishna, we feel happy, we are happy. That's our real form, real identity. Krishna Nitya Das. Nitya means Sanatan, eternal. As long as you are serving Krishna, especially in Golok Vrindavan, before he came in this material world, so you are same like as Krishnas, happy. There is no cost, no dukh, no miserable, no struggling. But as soon as we forget Krishna, somehow, Bhuliya tumhare samsare asya, pe nana vido vyatha, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, oh Krishna, when I forgot you, then I came in this material world. Pe nana vido vyatha. Nana vido means there is thousands kinds of, hundreds of thousands kinds of cost. Vyatha means pain. Tomaro charani ashiyachi ami bolibo dukher katha. Now I have come to you to explain my situation. So once Krishna, conditioned souls come in this material world, we forget our identity. We forget our identity. Like a leaf, green leaves, he lost or forget his identity. He lost his identity, actual form. Similarly, so another example we can give, when rain comes from sky. So rain water is very, very clear and nirmal, very swachha. We can, if we collect the rainwater in a pot, we can use for many things. Like we can wash our clothes by the water. We can sometimes drink the water. We can take bath with the rainwater. But as soon as the water touches the earth, floor, water becomes spoiled. You can't do anything with that water. Water lost his actual form. Similarly, as soon as we serving the Krishna, especially in Golok Vrindavan, we are happy. कृष्ण प्यारा से जिसका संबंध है उसका हर घड़ी आनंद ही आनंद है. In Brajavasi says. But as soon as we forget Krishna, come this material world, we forget about it. That's called Sarup Vishriti. Sarup Vishriti. Sarup means our identity. Vishriti means lost. But still we have sambandha, still we have connect relationship with Krishna. Because Krishna says Sanatana. Sanatana means never destroy, never lost actually. Nobody can destroy. No matter what our situation, where we are, but still we have sambandha, still we have relationship with Krishna. So once we come in this material world, we're struggling more and more. Then Krishna think in this Guru Vrindavan, in the Guru Vrindavan, oh, my servant, my parts, my bhakt has gone the material world, he's struggling so much. So I need to do something that my servant, my bhakt can come back to me. Then what Krishna does? Krishna does many things. But the best of things Krishna does, Krishna gives us this Bhagavad-Gita actually. This Bhagavad-Gita. For example, like think about we buy a electrical things, object, like phone, it could be a phone or a computer or TV. When you buy something, anything from market, so we also get a guidebook with the object. Also get a guidebook. So if you want the play with the object properly, you must read the guidebook first. Unless we read guidebook, we can't use our object. Like today's program, before I log in our Zoom program on YouTube, our 5G devices not work. So I called Pranava Prabhu, then Alaka Prabhu. So they Alaka Prabhu was giving me instruction, then I was working. Now it's working. Why? Because he has idea, experience, knowledge. How? Because he, maybe not now, he studied or he read the guidebooks. That's why. So similarly, we are in this material world, we living our life. So if we know, if we want to live our life without any miserable, without any struggling, without not much dukh or cost, so we must know, we must have a guidebook. So unfortunately, there is no guidebook in this material world provided by whoever, any scientists, doctors, teachers. Nobody can, no one can provide us that guidebook. There's many guidebook, there's many things providing us, our scientists, our teacher, whoever. That's good for us. But there is no teacher, there is no scientist, there is no doctor, there is no person, nobody can give us a guidebook to explain how to live our life without cost, without miserable, that at least we can go back to Godhead after this life, after give up this life. Only Bhagavad-Gita can do this. Only Bhagavad-Gita. That's why Bhagavad-Gita is so important to us. And this month is so important to us. So important to us to also another example we can give actually. When rain comes from the sky, heavy rain. So there is no way, there is no chance to stop the rain. Nobody can stop the rain when rain comes. Really heavy rain. Nobody can stop. We have no chance, no way to stop the rain. But there is chance to save ourselves from the rain. Even if we walk in the road, still we can save myself from the rain. How? If I hold an umbrella. If I hold an umbrella, so although there is heavy rain is happening, but if I hold an umbrella, so rain can't touch me. No, we are safe. Similarly, we can see there is so many bad things happening in this world. So many bad things happening, especially when after I started the COVID-19, there is a COVID variant coming one after another. Many other. There is nowadays we getting any good news from around the world. Many bad news, bad things happening in this world. So sometimes we try to stop their things. World Health Organization, they are doing something. They are doing very well. There is many people doing something. But still there is many things happening. Actually, nobody can stop these things. If we stop one, there's another one is waiting to come into us. So how can then there is still there is a chance to save myself from the miserable of the world? How? So this Bhagavad-Gita is like an umbrella. Like when rain comes from the sky, if I hold an umbrella, I can save myself from the sky, rain. So rain can't touch me. Similarly, although the whole world is full of bad things, there is so many things happening. But if we take shelter of Bhagavad-Gita, so we can save ourselves. So material, the bad things can't touch us. That's why all the, like Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna said, Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Dvavi Prakritim Ashrita. Mahatma is devotee. And the devotee takes shelter of Daivi Prakriti. Daivi means Krishna himself. Bhagavad-Gita. Because Bhagavad-Gita is not different than Krishna himself. So taking shelter of Bhagavad-Gita means taking shelter of Krishna. If we take shelter of Krishna, so no can like darkness, I was saying. No darkness, no struggling, no bad things can touch us. Krishna will save us. Okay. So that's why devotees, especially Iskcon devotees, they want to distribute Bhagavad-Gita more and more, especially in this month. Why? Because giving a Bhagavad-Gita to someone means you are giving an umbrella to him or her. And you giving an option them to save themselves from this material world, whatever happening, which bad things happen in this material world. You are asking when you giving a Bhagavad Gita to someone, that means we are giving them we are giving them Krishna himself. We are explaining himself, given an option. If you take the shelter of Bhagavad Gita, so you will be saved by Krishna himself. That's the Iskcon devotee too in this month. So Srila Prabhupada all used to say, or we can see nowadays in this whole world, there is hundreds of thousands devotees. There are people, they becoming Iskcon devotees, they becoming the Krishna Bhakta only because of Bhagavad Gita. Only because of Bhagavad Gita. There is many devotees in Bhagavad Gita, many even sannyasis, many brahmacharis, many matajis. They become followers of Iskcon, or they become Krishna Bhakta only because of Srila Prabhupada's, Bhagavad-Gita. There is a nice pastime I can explain how Bhagavad-Gita can change someone's life. Even Srila Prabhupada used to say, if anyone read even a single verse from Bhagavad-Gita, even a single sentence, even a single word, so his life will change. So Bhagavad-Gita is very, very, because he is Krishna himself, no different from Krishna himself. Bhagavad-Gita is no different from Krishna himself. So what happened once, in Delhi, there is a couple was, there's something, some argue happened between husband and wife. It's happened always, most of the families. Very usual. So, but sometimes happened too much. Sometimes happened too much. So husband gone to the office, and wife, she was thinking to commit suicide, because she said she just gave up. She said it's too much for me, so I can't tolerate anymore. She was ready to commit suicide. So she make a hang, whatever, by rope. So as long she was ready to hang herself, someone knocked her door. It was happened this month, but few years back, not this year, few years back. So someone knocked her door. She thought maybe my husband is here. This is my husband. He will send me something, whatever, sweet word. So then I'll feel good, or I can give up this. I can change my mind to committing suicide. Then once she opened the door, there is a brahmachari from our Iskcon Delhi, and she was holding few Bhagavad-Gita. Then then brahmachari has no idea what is happening to her, what she going to do. So brahmachari asked her, so we are coming from Iskcon Delhi, so distributing Bhagavad-Gita. So would you like to take a Bhagavad-Gita, please? Usually, it is said in Hinduism or Hindu society, before die someone, they must read some Bhagavad-Gita. They read Bhagavad-Gita. So that lady was thinking, oh, I'm going to die anyway. Let me take a Bhagavad-Gita and read me at least one verse from Bhagavad-Gita. Then I will commit suicide anyway. It's okay for me. Then she took a Bhagavad-Gita, and she paid the brahmachari gone, because he has no idea what's she going to do actually. So once she opened the Bhagavad-Gita, so I have no details. I have no idea about details, because I heard from someone actually. So he was reading from Bhagavad-Gita, because still in her mind she is going to commit suicide. So, but once she start reading Bhagavad-Gita, so definitely it's different because of Srila Prabhupada, because of Krishna. Ishorer kripale hoyto jahare seito ishwar tattva bujhibare pare. It says Chaitanya Charitamrita, one person can know Krishna only can know Krishna when Krishna become merciful to him. Without Krishna mercy, no one can know Krishna. Nobody can know Krishna. So we are here in Iskcon, we are speaking about Krishna. We have some idea about Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is so merciful to us. Because of Srila Guru Maharaj, because of Srila Prabhupada. So Krishna became merciful. Krishna became kind to that lady. That's why I believe that lady who is to read Bhagavad-Gita before as well. But this not happened. Didn't happen before to her. But today, because Krishna's mercy, once she started reading Bhagavad-Gita, something was happening in her mind. She was reading more, she was testing. She's not reading actually, she was testing. She was reading more and more and more and more. So she didn't realize there's an hour and hour passed. When she realized, oh my God, this is what I'm doing. Then she changed her mind to not committing suicide. And she was reading Bhagavad-Gita slowly. She became devotee. She came to Iskcon Delhi and he was asking, so who the Brahmachari was? He went to my house. Because Brahmachari didn't say his name. There is no other conversation. Finally, she found the Brahmacharis. She explained them. So what happened that day actually to her. And she is a devotee now. She's an initiated devotee now. So see, there is thousands of stories, thousands of incidents happened in Iskcon. Someone just read one verses, one sentence from Bhagavad-Gita, they become devotee. This is the power of Bhagavad-Gita. This is the power of it. So how Bhagavad-Gita can change our life? So powerful. Because this Bhagavad-Gita is Krishna himself, as I was saying again and again. There is a nice example when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went South India. There is a Kurma temple. There is a Brahman, uneducated Brahman. So the Brahman was reading Bhagavad-Gita. Every day he used to read Bhagavad-Gita. But because he's uneducated, unscholar, so actually when he was reading Bhagavad-Gita, the other scholars, persons, Brahmanas, Panditas, they used to say this Brahman was holding Bhagavad-Gita upside down. See, he didn't realize what he read. So other Brahman was saying, what he doing, man? He don't know any idea of Bhagavad-Gita. He just crying. He used to read. He was to holding the Bhagavad-Gita and used to crying, didn't say anything. Other Brahmanas, Panditas, scholars, person used to laugh on him. He has no idea about Bhagavad-Gita. He's just disturbing us. Because he's crying. We are reading Bhagavad-Gita, we are reading Bhagavatam. So when he crying, so it's makes us noisy. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to that temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noticed that Brahman is just holding Bhagavad-Gita upside down, and he's just crying. He's not reading anything. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, my dear Brahman, so what are you actually doing here? I can see you're holding the Gita upside down, ulta pakra, and you're not reading anything, just crying. If you can't read anything. So what point you getting, what benefit you getting, and why you crying for it? What's the point you're crying? Why? Could you explain me, please? Then that Brahman says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Sannasi, Prabhu, these Bhagavad-Gita given me to my Gurudev. And my Guru Maharaj said to me, order me to read this Bhagavad-Gita. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to read it. It's okay, Mahaprabhu said, it's okay, but why are you crying? If you can't read it, why are you crying? Even you can't read, why are you crying for? Why are you crying? Then Brahman said, my dear Prabhu, so when I see into this Gita, when I just open this Bhagavad-Gita, so I can't see any verse, any text, any sentence in this Bhagavad-Gita. So she said, why? This Bhagavad-Gita is full of sentences, full of verses, full of words. But you saying you can't say anything in this Bhagavad-Gita. Why? So what you saying in this Bhagavad-Gita? Then Brahman says, Prabhu, when I see in this Gita, once I open this Bhagavad-Gita, so I can see a picture. What picture? Nice picture. There is a chariot, there is a 4 horses, and Krishna is sitting in the driver places where Krishna is driving the chariot, and he is holding the rope of horses, and another hand he is holding a what call chabuk or stick, and the Arjun is the sitting in the main place as a warrior, and Krishna's pitambar, the pitambar, the chadar is flowing in the air. So as long as seeing this picture, my eyes become full of tears. How kind Krishna is. I'm just thinking how kind Krishna is. Although he is supreme personality of Godhead, he doesn't have anything to do in this world, but he become chariot driver of his friend Krishna's, Arjuna's. To seeing this picture, my eyes become full of tears. That's why I can't read anything in this Bhagavad-Gita, from this Bhagavad-Gita. So that means Krishna is living in this Bhagavad-Gita. Like Srila Prabhupada used to say, even after I will be disappear, I will be leaving my book. When we read Srila Prabhupada books, that means we are doing association of Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, when we read Bhagavad-Gita, when you distribute Bhagavad-Gita, when we discuss about Bhagavad-Gita, that means we are getting association of Krishna himself. Because Krishna is living in his Bhagavad-Gita as his word, as his Vani, as his Gita. So we can see how important Krishna and this Bhagavad-Gita is to our life. Without, like, when we get ill, when you get fever, we get some medicine. Also, we get some instructions by doctor with the medicine. So, having medicine is not good enough unless we are following the instruction by doctor. Similarly, we are in this material world. Krishna sent us. We took birth in this material world. We are living our life, but only living our life is not good enough unless we follow instruction from Bhagavad-Gita by Krishna himself. When we follow instruction of Bhagavad-Gita, we call it human being. Unless follow Bhagavad-Gita, that's called Pashu. Dharma hina manusya pashubi samana. Unless we follow the Bhagavad-Gita, we are not human beings even. So that's why Bhagavad-Gita is very, very important. So please read Bhagavad-Gita. Also, you can donation, sponsor Bhagavad-Gita. As I was saying, when we give someone a Bhagavad-Gita, that means we are giving them option to come to surrender to Krishna actually. So giving Bhagavad-Gita, sponsoring Bhagavad-Gita is very, 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 very. Sometimes we have no time to read Bhagavad-Gita, but if we sponsor, if we give Bhagavad-Gita to someone, when they read Bhagavad-Gita, we get same benefit. We get same benefit. That's why Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada give name Brihat Mridanga. When we read distribute the Bhagavad-Gita or sponsoring Bhagavad-Gita is called Brihat Mridanga. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was saying, when you play Mridanga, the sounds maybe go to till 500 meters or 200 meters. But when we distribute Bhagavad-Gita, when we sponsor Bhagavad-Gita, the sounds of the words, the verses can goes to the last part of this world, from another country to another country, another country to other countries. So very, very important to read Bhagavad-Gita, very, very important to sponsor Bhagavad-Gita, very, very important to distribute Bhagavad-Gita. So thank you, Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna. Jai.
Jai, thank you very much, Satchidanand. Thank you very much, Satchidanand Prabhu. You gave us so many examples and you mentioned so many points that I really like. Without Krishna's mercy, no one knows Krishna. Mamemam Sho Jiva Loke. That's Loka. We are part and parcels of Krishna. And you also mentioned, unless we follow Bhagavad Gita, we are not human beings. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Now it's time for Aarti. Satchidanand Prabhu is doing Aarti before he's setting up. I'll say a few words about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita literally means the song of the Supreme Lord. He delivered the most confidential and topmost knowledge of the devotional service to his dearest devotee Arjuna. So it is most widely known Vedic literature in this world. Jai. Janaki.
Hare Krishna.
Please start the Aarti.
Jayo Sachinandan, Jayo Nitai Chan, Jayo Sachinandan, Jayo Nitai Chan, Jayo Sachinandan, Jayo Nitai Chan, Jayo Sachinandan, Jayo Nitai Chan. Shiva Jayo, Jayo Rajante. Aroti Koshoba Jahanavi Tatavani Jagamanadova Agininitai Swami Gadagada
ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदिवंगे भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माय यमुना माय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। प्यारे सचन निताय चांद गना बल्ले सुभद्र मैया की जय। राधा मदन मोहन राधा गोकुलंत सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। राधा मदन मोहन राधा गोकुलंत सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। राधा माधव की जय। राधा गोकुलानंद जी की जय। राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय। श्रीराज गोवर्धन की जय। मधुसूदन महाराज की जय। राधा रमन लाल की जय। नरसिंह वत्सलाल महाराज की जय। पंचतत्व की जय। इस्कॉन काउंट्री यात्रा की जय। इस्कॉन वर्ल्डवाइड यात्रा की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru Sri Prabhupada ki
Jai. Thank you, Janaki and Keshav Prabhu, for singing the Aarti. Now we'll sing Narsinga Aarti. We'll remember departed soul, Srimati Kailash, Ishani Devi's grandmother, and lead us His Holiness Shepatak Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, and other Iskcon gurus, and leaders suffering around the world, and all those who take care of them. And for also others, His Grace Jannivas Prabhu, Venu, Kalyani, and Jayant. Mohan Bai, Kalyan Mandir Rugby, Bhaktin Rita Lester, Pradeep Pankania, and Dr. Reena, Lucky Roy, Varah Murthy Prabhu, and Veena Pani Mataji. Shanti Ben Sholanki, Premanjari Mataji, Shraddha Devi Mataji, Srimati Mataji, Prem Malan, Chalpati Rao, Rita's mother and sister, His Grace Satyanarayan Das, and Gaur Hari Prabhu's mother, John, Devender, Kishore Bai Thakur, Lakshmana Dedra, and other devotees suffering around the world, and the great well-being of the whole world. Mrs. Roy Mati is going to sing the Narsinga Aarti. Hi Krishna Mataji.
हरे स्टार्ट कर
हाँ जी.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादायिनी प्रह्लादायिनी हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षया हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षया शिलाताङ्काकनकाले शिलाताङ्कनकाले इतानिचिङ्ग परत निचिङ्ग इतया निचिङ्ग परत निचिङ्ग যত যত যামি তত নিঃসিংহ যত যত যামি তত নিঃসিংহ বৈরং নিঃসিংহং হৃদয়ং নিঃসিংহং বৈরং Nishingam, Hridayam, Nishingam, 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 Sharanam Padbhavate, Nishingam, Nishingam, Sharanam Padbhavate, Tobakaro Kamalabare, Tobakaro Kamalabare, Nakama Adbhuta Singham, Tobakaro Kamalabare, Nakama Adbhuta Singham, Dalita Hiranya Kaushipatan, Dalita Hiranya Kaushipatan, Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Nishinga, Jaya Nishinga, Jaya Nishinga, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Narahari, Jaya Narahari, Jaya Narahari, Jaya Narahari, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jaya Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Anande, Hari Anande, Bolo Prem Cheko, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Rasivashadi Guru, Hari Bol.
Jai, thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you.
I sound like Jenny. I scored like that. Sound like Jenny.
Jai Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Now we reach the end of the program. Thank you all for joining. We have few announcements as we discussed earlier. This month is very special for book distribution. Please donate as many Gitas as possible. And also, as Sachidanand Prabhu mentioned in the class, if we give Bhagavad Gita to someone, we will get the same benefit. This knowledge can transform someone's life. So Prabhupada wanted this month to be dedicated for book distribution. And we are reading Bhagavad Gita every day after the Aarti. So please join with us. And thank you for joining it once again. Please join. Hope to see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Shivaratri.